shutdown presumably delays tapering. When are you expecting that to start now?
Yes, I think the fact that we've had this delay in the data and next month's data is likely to be delayed as well. It's going to take a while before we get what the policymakers would probably consider to be a clean set of data. So that may not come through until December, January. So I think tapering is now delayed into next year. I think the market is going to start to focus very much on the January, maybe even increasingly the March meeting as well. So we're likely to see that push back quite a long way, and that's going to provide, I think, quite a positive environment for high beta currencies. So we're going to see, I think, over the coming weeks at least, quite a positive environment, more of a risk-on environment starting to develop. At the moment, it's probably can be seen more as a soft dollar environment, but I think that will slowly transition through into a more risk-positive environment.
All right, well, I was going to ask, on this risk-on environment, how you play it, how do you play the dollar and how do you play the dollar-yen when both are weak?
Yeah, that's right. This is going to be, I think, a very interesting currency to watch, a currency pair to watch, I think, and that's going to give us the clues with regards to the kind of environment we're in. So up until now, we've seen the dollar being soft across the board, but as we transition across to a more risk-positive environment, I think we'll see the yen coming under pressure as well. That means that dollar-yen will actually move higher in this environment, and I think that's what we're likely to see happening this week. I'd be looking for dollar-yen to start to push higher once again, and that will give us a very clear signal that we're in quite a risk-positive environment, which will help the high beta currencies.
8-month high for the euro on Friday. Is it getting a little too lofty, do you think?
I think we are starting to get a little bit overextended, but in this environment, I think we are likely to see it continuing to push a little bit higher in the near term. So I think we are likely to see new highs for the year for euro dollar. I think we will push through that 137 area, heading up in towards 138. So I think that is very likely. But I think we need to be extremely careful at those levels. I wouldn't get too carried away here. I think we are in the final stages of the move higher, but it will push a little bit higher in the near term.
So nothing too much for Draghi to get worried about then?
I think we're getting to levels whereby policymakers in Europe will start to focus on the euro increasingly. I wouldn't be surprised if it does start to feature more in comments coming from policymakers. In fact, we have seen a few comments recently with the euro being listed as one of the risk factors for European policy. So I wouldn't be surprised if that momentum picks up as we see the euro moving to new highs for the year.
And just to finish up with, how do you play sterling ahead of the GDP Friday?
For sterling, I think is also likely to remain quite well supported, particularly against the dollar. So I think cable will also continue to press higher. More medium term, I'll be looking at euro sterling, where I think we're likely to see any further sterling strength coming out. I think you could see that happening on the crosses. I think euro sterling is one to watch because I think that will start to come under pressure over the coming weeks.